Welcome to Walking with J.Beau. Hope you're enjoying a nice week. I'm going to do about 5 miles today. We're just taking it easy. A nice breeze today, which is nice because it's 80 degrees, 81, 82, something like that. So we have stuff going on today with regard to President Trump signing resolutions into law. Electric vehicle mandate for California is gone. Just like that. So it's been really interesting to watch right now with the Democrats trying to find their messaging. You know, they're always talking about law and order, nobody's above the law, this, that, and the other thing. And then they turn around and do crazy things that are illegal. And they try to say that the federal government, namely ICE, has no authority and are doing things illegal, which is completely not the case. So I just saw a video clip of Chicago mayor, a complete incompetent boob, the DEI hire, DEI candidate, proclaiming that he wants everybody in Chicago to resist and to defy ICE. So basically what he's saying is he's challenging people to riot. Now I'm sure he probably intends peaceful protesting, but the way he said it is not going to invite that, and I'm sure he knew that, because he's a radical communist, he's a Marxist, and he wants that chaos and thinks that's going to help them politically, when in fact it's not, because people voted for this, and basic fact of the matter is federal law trumps state law, period. Always. And there's nothing they can do about it. Gavin Newsom can't do anything about it except grandstand because he thinks he's going to be the presidential candidate for Democrats. Pritzker in Illinois is going to be doing that too as soon as problems are up there, which they will. They've been having problems in Chicago. So, almost a week ago, I called it. I said this was going to happen because that's all the Democrats have left. And they are going to try to riot their way back in the public's favor because they think that worked for them in 2020. And so here we go, friends. Deja vu all over again. going on here. That always smells awful. Putting down asphalt. So anyways, my friends, the other breaking news I need to share with you is Senator Padilla out of California showed up at a Kristi Noem DHS, Department of Homeland Security press conference and decided to make an ass out of himself. So what he did is he barged into her press conference. He started yelling and hollering. And of course, security and law enforcement there pounced on him, grabbed him, manhandled him, dragged him out of the room, threw him on the floor and put handcuffs on him. And it was only then did people realize that he was a senator. So of course Chuck Schumer right now is absolutely livid. But here's the reality, and it'll come out by the end of the day. Padilla didn't have his credentials. He didn't have his ID. He also didn't have a pin on his lapel that indicates he's a senator. Now, was this just an oversight by him, or did he do it on purpose? I think he did it on purpose. I think he staged that because he knew the police would pounce on him and do that. And he's going to try to say that the Trumpism, Nazi Gestapo party are fascist and all this other stuff. So that's what he's going to try to say. So they're pretty desperate, folks. And if you haven't seen that clip yet, you probably will by the time you watch this. It just happened a few minutes before I left the house. So it was blatantly apparent he did not have his PIN. He didn't have any ID at all. And as soon as that erupted, even the news anchors on TV didn't recognize him right away. It just looked like somebody disrupting and possibly could be dangerous. Very irresponsible for him to do that. But like I said, the Democrats are desperate. They're losing. This rioting is helping Trump. People understand when they see bricks being thrown at police what that means. And then you have the media and Democrats showing up on TV talking about how peaceful it is. So the people learned in 2020, they did the same thing. Mostly peaceful protesting. I can't even believe we're doing this again. It's just completely unbelievable. Well, I'm not doing this again. Now, we have the, what is it, 225th anniversary of the military this weekend, or 250, forget which, the Army, I mean. Probably 250 if the actual Army formed when we became a nation. But we get that celebration this weekend. It's also Trump's birthday. So, and I believe it's also Flag Day or something coming up. So this is going to be the weekend that the left really tries to make a lot of noise, and we'll see what happens. All right. So we shall see what happens. I will be doing a partial selfie when we get around the corner here. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. Expecting unsettled weather this weekend. Saturday, it's going to be kind of iffy for range day. We might have to go in the afternoon instead of the morning. There may or may not be drizzle, have no idea. But we cannot go Sunday, so if we're going to go, we're going to go Saturday. If at all. So, with that, we'll head on down this way. The Democrats, you know, they are upset that a judge got arrested. They're upset that a sitting congresswoman was arrested and she's being charged. She was indicted. And the party of nobody is above the law all of a sudden doesn't want to respect the law. And Kristi Noem's press conference today, she was asked a question by a reporter about why they are going to these lengths to prosecute people, and also other questions about the rioters and riots. And she said, I don't write the laws, I enforce them. I don't have the luxury of choosing which laws I'm going to uphold and which ones I don't. It's not how that works, she said. The law is the law. Nobody is above it. So while Gavin Newsom keeps going on TV talking about what's going on is illegal, they're losing court cases that are trying to stop it. Because the president has the authority, constitutional authority. That means it's legal. And you're crying about it. That's what that means. So, Democrats have been doing a lot of crying because they're not getting their way, and at the end of the day, they haven't stopped to wonder, is defending what they're defending something good? It isn't. They keep talking about kids being deported that have cancer and this and that, and they're defending criminals. Perfect example is one of the rioters that attacked a police officer and assaulted him got pulled over, didn't want to pull over, so they actually had to ram his vehicle. The guy had his girl, whether it's his wife or not, I don't know, and 2 small children in the car with him. So that's child endangerment. So they're ramping up these acquisitions of illegals nationally, and they're acting on warrants for arrest. New York State, California, Illinois, and other states like that are violating the law by having sanctuary cities. And to be clear, what a sanctuary city is what happened in New York. What happens in New York, I should say. Where somebody is arrested, they are an illegal, and the governor had done an executive order saying that undocumented people are not to be handed over to ICE. We're not going to assist them at all. So when ICE shows up to pick them up, and they actually have a warrant from a judge that this guy broke the law, committed some kind of crime, other law enforcement are not turning them over. So there's like this internal civil war in New York between the feds and the local police. Some sheriff's departments cooperate, some don't. And they're all afraid of Democrats in New York. Because of her executive order, they're worried about their jobs. So this is a constitutional standoff. And the federal agents are within the law. They have a right to be doing what they're doing. So, hi everybody. Let's get this straightened out here. I don't have my LCD screen on because I had the camera on my head last night and I haven't fixed it. And I don't want to stop and readjust it, so I have no idea if I'm in frame. I'm pretty sure I am. I've done this enough times. So anyway, that's what we have going on right now. This is going to be really interesting to watch because the Democrats aren't going to quit, obviously. These radical mayors are calling on their citizens to resist, to riot, to protest, which we know is going to turn into a riot. And Trump's not going to have it. Also, Trump's not going to stop deporting. He campaigned on it, and the public still supports that quite a bit. So that's not going to end anytime soon. And the reason why the Democrats are trying to make it look like they're the Gestapo rounding up illegals that are just going to work and doing jobs we don't want to do, according to the Democrats. That, to me, sounds like a racist statement on its own, which it probably is. So they're basically saying illegals are willing to do jobs Americans are too proud to do. You believe that? So anyway, that's what the Democrats say. It's out of their mouths. That's what they said. So, what the hell, man? We'll see what happens. Democrats aren't going to win on this because we're a nation of laws and the Trump administration is not violating the law. They're enforcing it. So this is already, the Democrats are already on the wrong side of it. Like that Senator Padilla making a fool out of himself. You know, he was doing political theater. Optics, you know. They want the video clips. Well, now he's going to have a video clip of himself being thrown on the floor and handcuffed to make it look like the king, Donald Trump, is arresting senators. These guys play dirty pool. But I honestly believe the American public's not going to fall for this. Newest polling suggests they're not. Trump's approval in the Republican Party, numbers released by two different pollsters, two different ones that are not Trump friendly, said he has about 88% approval in one poll and 90% in the other from the Republican voters. And it's just under 50% or around 50% from independents. It's like some of the independents, they want the immigration and border closed, but then they don't want to deal with the riffraff that's here. So that's why they're independents. Well, look at this idiot across the street. We have a Ukraine flag across the street. It's the first one I've seen in quite a while. One of those idiots. I'm not flying a Ukraine flag. I'm not flying a Russian flag. I am flying an American flag. So things are really getting cooking now. Tomorrow's Friday. Nationwide protests have been scheduled for Saturday because of the Army's birthday and President Trump's birthday. So we shall watch, see what happens. I'm sure it shall be entertaining. Now, all this week, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, and Kristi Noem, Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, have been pooling resources and preparing for rioting in other cities. So we'll be ready, not having to play catch up. I even saw a Democrat today complaining about how much this is going to cost. Can you believe that? The Democrats who Biden's open border has cost 150 billion with a B dollars, which is still adding up every day since the article was written. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. I have to say, since Trump got involved in Los Angeles, the police and Sheriff's Department and National Guard are taking care of business. They're doing a good job. So they just needed a kick in the pants. So I love seeing California's electric vehicle mandate resolution go into law now. The president signed it today. That's what he campaigned on. California wanted 100%. They wanted 100% of diesel trucks banned in California within the next 10 to 20 years or something like that. So how are you gonna ship all the fruit and everything else that you want the illegals to pick? The electric trucks weigh twice as much as the trailer trucks. Can only put half as much cargo because the batteries take up so much room. You can't carry the full load that trailer trucks can now. You have to stop and charge them. That's all going to raise the price of food, everything. Not to mention even getting it to people. And the biggest kicker, was besides the added cost, is these trucks weigh twice as much as a regular truck. So now a lot of these bridges across the country would have to be rebuilt, replaced, costing trillions of dollars. Not billions, trillions. It would be a lot of money. Stupid. But you've heard me talk about that before, like Hawaii. They want to mandate electric vehicle certain number by a certain date. The car dealerships in Hawaii were like, hey, wait a minute. We can't do that and stay in business. You know, it can't be done. Especially in Hawaii, it's an island, it's isolated. Everything costs more to bring it there. So the electric vehicles, well, they cost a certain price here. In Hawaii, they cost more money. So it's not a good idea. It's stupid. Stupid people. Well, I'm going to flip the camera around. So these people are lost in space. I, for one, am pretty pissed off at the circus acts they're doing. Being belligerent. Acting like they're fighting for civil rights down south in the 1960s rather than living in reality in modern times. Everything with them is about racism. As I inhaled a bug, that's always good. So I think I just swallowed a bug. Isn't that lovely? Protein, I guess. So anyway, they're doing these circus acts, political theater, faux outrage. And the ones that make the most noise are going to get the most donor money, small dollar donations. The other news from the Democratic Party is their DNC chair and co-chair. One of them's about to get fired. The other one did get fired. David Hogg, who made himself famous by being a student at a mass shooting when he was a minor, is now into politics and has pretty much geared everything he's done against banning firearms. And he's been on this kind of moderate, trying to appear as an independent and appealing to some moderates to get the Republican voters with common sense on his side. Like, we're going to vote Democrat after all the crap they've done, right? But that's his mindset. That was made evident when he started posting videos of him shooting skeet, shooting clay, trap shooting with a double-barrel shotgun and semi-automatic shotgun. Like, those were weapons that were okay. We're not trying to take your guns. We just want to take the fun ones away, basically, is what they want to do. Keep my eyes on cars going through here. Everybody likes to speed. They're speeding. Speeding's one thing, paying attention is another. Speeding and not paying attention are not good. They don't go well together. So these people are a piece of work, man. These Democrats. So we're going to see which stupid ones do the stupidest things next. And I'm sure the Senator Padilla, he cannot wait to get on CNN tonight and run his mouth about it. His version of what happened. This is that part I don't like, because the only way to get away from this guardrail is to go downhill there. And nobody was coming, so I'm okay. Now we'll go up here. And I might actually, I usually don't want to have cars at my back. But looking up ahead here, I have a better track going on the right with more room to walk. So I'm going to get off the road and walk on the side of the road. So you kind of have to pick your safe walk zones. These bushes smell summery. Oh, I had a bug go up my nose. Can you believe that? Now up here, I don't have anything to walk through. So I'm going to cross back over. There we go. Now I got room to walk again. Friggin' bug flew right up my nose. There. That's a pretty steep hill. Just went down. So hopefully we'll get the big beautiful bill passed before July 4th, which is coming up in a couple, 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. Let's go up here. This is going to be the last tricky spot on my walk with regard to traffic. I got some room across the street. It gets a little hairy. Nice piece of woods here. Down in the road. May cross over here. I'm sure nothing comes behind me. A little bit of a sidewalk over here. So welcome to Maine. A lot of it looks like this. Pretty nice looking. I hope nothing bad happens this weekend, that's all I'm saying. Hopefully these guys don't get push things so far that people get hurt and they blame Trump for it. So, personally, I don't think that'll happen. You never know. A lot of these are professional agitator and protesters. All they do is they travel around looking for protests and somebody's paying them. That's what Trump means by these are paid agitators. Oh, here comes a school bus. I think we'll give him the right of way. Gave her the right of way. The he turned out to be a she. Cool old Kawasaki, look at that. That's pretty cool. Kawasaki. These are some big trees here. Pretty huge, humongous. Huge, humongous. So my Bluetooth is staying on now. I fixed it, looks like. That's exactly what I did. I took the battery portion off of the talkie portion and sprayed my expensive electronic cleaner in it and plugged it and unplugged it quite a few times to clean out the contact corrosion on it. And voila! That's exactly what the problem was. The power connection was corroded because water got in it. And it was causing it to think that the power source was unplugged from it when it wasn't. So now it's working. I've not cleaned those contacts since I've owned this. I've had this Bluetooth for 3-4 years now. I like how it sounds. Small, lightweight, out of the way. A lot of times I forget I'm wearing it. It doesn't hurt my ears. And the other good part of it is the battery lasts a long time. miles. We're halfway. Well, nail on the side of the road. I just kicked aside. Don't know why that person beeped at me. Very strange. And they were beeping at me. And they can't see I'm holding a camera, because they were coming up behind me. So basically, at the end of the day, the Democrats are saying some people can be above the law and some people can't. That's what they're saying. And since 2023, it's been nobody, no one is above the law. No one. Now this intersection down here, it's crazy this time of day. So I'm going to cross over, walk down a little bit, and then cross back. Or I will seek a little bit longer route, since this route comes up pretty close to 5 miles anyway. We want to make sure we get over 5 miles. So we will do that. See, it's quite breezy today, so it actually feels good, because I'd be sweating to death if it weren't for that. I am sweating, but it's actually cooling me off. So we don't want to have YouTube censor the video, so I have to talk over that music until they're out of sight, and I really hate that YouTube does that. I think I'm safe though, if I can remember where this edit is. I may just cut out a few seconds. I'm going to be passing a burger joint up ahead. is Val's. It's been here since 1959, and it was one of the A&W root beer chain drive-in root beer places to have a root beer float or root beer back in the day. And they still play 50s and 60s music. It's independently owned, family owned. Somebody locally bought it in the 1970s and has been running it as a family business ever since. They employ high school girls as waitresses. As far as I know. Which we should see when we walk by, because the parking lot is almost always full. They do a lot of business. Italian sausage. Well, we got 3 vehicles. 1 leaving, 2 leaving. Four vehicles. Ba 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 ba. At the hop. We just hit 3 miles. 3 miles of walking. A couple miles left to do. That's a dead end, so we won't go that way. We'll walk down this way. All right. Walk down this way. Got a crow crowing over here, or other places in the world, magpie, raven. I think a raven is too majestic a name for them sons of bitches. And crows, they eat roadkill and stuff. Scavengers. They're like Jawas. So I don't go this way very often. Like hardly ever. But we are today. Dead end that way. So we'll go this way. Today would be a lot better if I wasn't inhaling bugs. I don't want to breathe in bugs. So what are the Democrats going to do next? They are encouraging protesting, which is code words for hoping chaos and violence breaks out. They did the same thing in 2020. They're doing it again. And hopefully our intel services can find out who's financing this stuff. Arrests in Los Angeles have been made, with more to come. The woman who supplied anti-chemical masks, for example, she's associated with Walmart, I guess, and she supplied masks for the rioters to protect them from tear gas. And she got arrested. She's going to be charged. These people think they're above the law, you know? I mean, who is it again that just spent since 2023 saying nobody's above the law? Every single Democrat, elected or just voters. They've all been saying it. Crazy foolishness. Insanity. Bunch of nutbags. The law is the law is the law. Right? Isn't that what they told us? And nobody is above it. Smelling fresh cut grass. Like that smell. Most people do. So I saw somebody online today, which is typically the problem when somebody is obese and they're trying to lose weight. And I'm not going to speak ill of this person. I'm just pointing out what they said is completely absurd. They said, and this is almost a direct quote, that no matter what they do, whether they diet or exercise or both, they don't lose weight. Now look, science is science, and that is actually physically and biologically impossible if that were the case. So this person has issues where eating soothes them, you know. They probably have depression, things like that, and they feel better after eating. And then it probably compounds on top of each other afterwards when they're not happy about being obese they probably eat some more. It's like a psychological addiction. And I understand that. I get that. But you don't have to diet, okay? You have to change your diet. I'll guarantee you this person, most people that are obese drink a lot of soda. High fructose corn syrup products. They'll eat things like flapjacks and put a whole lot of that maple syrup on there, which is like corn syrup. It's like hot rotted sugar. It's really high calorie. It's not good. It's not good for you. So, almost in that same post, they said that they are borderline diabetic. Now, this person looks like they're about 28, 29 years old, and she's easily 250 pounds overweight. I mean, she's morbidly obese. So that's a psychological issue. That's what that is. More than anything. So, and I feel bad about that. But people like that need psychiatric help more than they need whatever else. I mean, anyway, I could go on a lot about that. I don't want to offend anybody that's watching or listening that's overweight, but I'm just going to say, you have to buckle down and do it. That's it. And that's all psychological. It's a matter of state of mind. Changing your diet is easy. A lot of people say, well, it costs more to do that. Well, no, it doesn't. It does not. Buy in bulk, buy real food, and be willing to cook it yourself. That's the thing. So if somebody's going to be lazy because they don't want to cook, they're lazy because they don't want to go out and exercise, well, you're going to look like somebody that's lazy. You're going to be pudgy, overweight, out of shape, and in poor health. Being dead by 48 years old from a heart attack because you're morbidly obese is not a good way to be. So, just my opinion on that. I don't want to seem preachy. I hope I don't come across as being preachy. But, you know, I do have experience with mentally buckling down. Obviously, I walk every day. I'd rather be doing something else, you know. But, so I'm just saying if people want to do it, they can do it. And the biggest part is changing your diet, and you will lose all the weight. I lost a lot of weight years ago, has not come back. And so that's what you got to do. You just got to do it, man. Do it. No more processed foods. Number one, anything that's already prepared and you have to microwave it, don't buy it. It goes for rice, it goes for anything. I buy 20-pound bags of parboiled rice. It lasts forever, I'm telling you. 14 bucks. Buy canned diced tomatoes. It's just got tomatoes in it. If you want to get some that has salt in it, fine, that's fine. If you're somebody that wants to deal with blood pressure and things like that, get the no salt one and salt the taste, whatever you want to do. Personally, I buy the stuff that's unsalted and I salt it myself for two reasons. One, I can control how salty it is, because most of the stuff sold on the shelves tastes way too salty for me. The other thing I like to do, it ensures, is when they can these tomatoes, they sit inside the can in liquid that has salt, and it permeates the whole thing. So when you eat it, that's all you taste. So, actually I want to walk on this side. So when you salt it yourself, the inside of the tomato bits are not all salted, and it has a different taste. It's got more flavor, it tastes better. Most of the canned sauces that have salts added got way too much sodium. Nobody needs that much sodium in a day. Nobody needs that much salt. Now there are some things that cost money. That mainly is going to be meat. Meat will cost you most of your grocery budget. But processed foods actually cost a lot of money if you buy enough to eat all day long. And the amount of calories and chemicals you're taking in, it just makes you explode in fat. It just makes you fat. It's unbelievable. Hopefully RFK will be making some serious changes. In that regard. I'd like to get all these microwave dinners off the market. Microwave lasagnas, microwave this, everything's already cooked, it's just frozen. Now, if they could make like a packaged lasagna that's uncooked and has good ingredients, and you have deregulated the food industry enough where it's affordable for them to make it and sell it to you for a non-ridiculous price, which is the other problem. A lot of these processed foods cost them a lot less than manufacture, which is why they make it. They're looking to make money and profit. They don't care if it's poisoning you. Because as long as they follow the USDA and FDA guidelines, then, you know, they're legal. Problem is a lot of these corporations lobby congressmen and senators in DC with money, and they get them to not pass stringent regulations on them. Hopefully people have done what I asked and looked up the product information hazard sheets, which are mandated by law that they have to have available for the public. And what I mean by that is you go to the Kellogg's website and you will find their products listed, and you can find the nutritional information from each one. They should have a PDF file with a list of ingredients, calories, all of that stuff. Now they do something similar in the UK, and you can find two products that are the same products, one that's sold in the UK, one that's sold here, and compare the ingredients. The American one will be artificial red dyes, artificial flavor, preservatives to enhance freshness and packaging, emulsifiers, all this other stuff that's added to it. And the ones in the UK won't have that. It'll have real strawberries, real sugar, not corn syrup. So instant oatmeal will have like corn syrup solids here, and in the UK it's real sugar, and that's the difference. That's why Americans are getting obese. They're eating garbage. If you're eating that stuff, you are eating garbage, and I urge you to stop. It's not a psychological battle you should be having with yourself. It's a matter of your life and death and quality of life. Like, I'm going to be walking up this pretty steep hill right here. This is an incline for about a quarter mile. I am going to feel this when I get to the top, which is why I came this way to get my workout, and why I'm doing 5 miles today instead of 6. If that makes sense. Because I'm going to feel like I walked 7 when I'm done this walk today. Now here's that thing that makes me laugh. They do have a law here that you have to take the door off a refrigerator. But if you look, that is actually one that is a good idea to take the door off. See that? That one actually has a mechanical latch to close it. So they have it out there for free. I'm assuming it works. But that is an old-fashioned refrigerator with a latched door. Those are the ones that kids can lock themselves inside and suffocate. So they took the door off. Now your refrigerator that you have more than likely doesn't have that issue, because the modern ones use a magnetic seal with a rubber strip. It doesn't have a latch. And a lot of people don't bother to have that compute, where there's nothing holding the door closed but a magnetic seal that's cushioned by a rubber seal to keep the cold in. But they take the door off anyway. It's just something that makes me laugh. But they'll go ahead and put an oven on the side of the road, and they won't take the door off it, and that's actually more difficult to open than a magnetically sealed refrigerator door. So I tend to see logic like that, or the lack of it, and it's almost an urban legend now to take the door off a refrigerator. But that was a perfect example of one that you should take it off. All right, let's psych myself up for this hill. Hills like this are much better when you're starting a walk, not on the end of it. All right, we're getting up here. Phew. There we go. That's the worst of my walk today. Whew, I got my heart rate up. Big time. Feels good. I think I'll put the other battery in. I'll be right back, friends. Hang on, I'm coming. All right. fresh battery. I'm good to go. Well, pretty darn good walk today, I think. It's the time of year too, we're going to have to start dealing with possible thunderstorms late afternoon. So it's pretty much the same for everybody in the country, seems like. Well, most places on the East Coast anyway. I remember one summer we didn't get one single thunderstorm. It's the weirdest thing ever. Then we've had ones where we'd have one every other day. We'll be coming up on 5 miles very soon. We'll walk the rest of this out. Slow down, kids at play. I agree. So I hope your little part of the world is nice today and you had a good week. We'll be getting ready for the weekend coming up after tomorrow. Today is Thursday, June 12th. I'm going to hang a left over here. Well, my friends, looks like another walk in the books. Talked about a few things that needed talking about today. There we go. And enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you had a nice walk. And I want to remind you once again, the big beautiful bill. You need to contact your congressmen and senators, even if they are voting the way you want them to either say thank you, and or if they might be on the fence about how they're going to vote, to tell them why you want it passed. You know, it passes a lot of stuff, codifies things into law More Border Patrol agents. It finishes up the wall on the border, which also includes sealing off the rivers. We won't be able to cross the rivers either. So, very important stuff. And don't fall for the propaganda about families are going to starve, they're going to lose their food stamps, they're going to lose their medical insurance. That's all fear mongering the Democrats do. So anyway, I'll cut across here. I want to thank you very much for walking with me. Click like and subscribe, share the content, say a prayer for the country and President Trump. God bless America. God bless that little dog. Little dog is keeping guard. So anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say. I just really hope things go well this weekend and we don't have a lot of trouble and really bad stuff happen with violence. And this weekend, especially after Al-Qaeda issuing a threat to try to kill Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk, I think it is very important to keep them in your prayers and pray that nothing happens really bad this weekend, like a terrorist attack or something. So anyway, I guess that's about all. Click like and subscribe, like I said. We'll see you on the next walk, and thank you very much for walking with me. Bye-bye, friends.